So, I'm finally preparing for my first trip of the year, but I'm too tired to talk about it right now, so I will update you in the morning. Alright, so this is the first road trip that I'm doing of the season, and I'm heading off to the Finger Lakes region of New York. So, in the entirety of New York State, there's Long Island and New York City. Then there's the Adirondack Mountains. Then there's like Eastern New York, which is like the very tall portion of it. Then the Hudson Valley is where I usually end up because I live right near the Hudson Valley anyway. And then there's the Finger Lakes region and Niagara Falls. And I haven't really been to the Finger Lakes region all that much, especially with all my travels that I did last year, because it takes a significant amount of gas to get around that area because it's so huge. But I kind of decided that for my first road trip of the season that I would go to this region that I'm not super familiar with and, you know, go check it out and stuff. And I booked a stay for one evening in a town called Elmira. So that should be fun. There's also some stuff near Elmira that I can do too to keep myself busy. So let's see how this goes. But first, wraps along his back. When he calls your name, it all fades to black. Coffee fix. It's Tim Hortons. This is the first Tim Hortons I've been to in like months, because there's not many down here in the US. They're everywhere in Canada, but like I'm lucky if I even see like one or two in the span of a year in New Jersey or New York. I'm almost there. I made it. Oh, my hand is so shaky. You know, there's something so satisfying about laying on a bed after driving for a significant period of time. It's just so satisfying. This was well worth it. And I also got the entire space to myself. So, here we got the bedroom. Pretty spacious. And then we got the kitchen. And then over here we got the bathroom. And then down here is the steps to the front door. And there's a cupboard underneath. I'll show you that in a little bit. All right, here we go. I actually filmed this part of the video later in the day. It's actually dark out right now. And here's the cupboard. There's an umbrella here. Harry Potter, are you in there? The space is too small to actually fit a child in here. So this town, Elmira, is right off of Route 17 here in New York, or 86, depending on how you look at it. So it's not really in the middle of nowhere, but it kind of feel like it is, because the closest major towns or cities that you would consider would probably be Ithaca, Buffalo, and Niagara Falls, New York and Ontario, Canada, and Scranton, Pennsylvania. But if you want to get into like big metropolitan areas, I would say Toronto and New York City are probably the same distance from each other from this spot. So the first thing that I was going to do here today was go visit Woodlawn Cemetery, which is the final resting place of novelist Mark Twain, famous for The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and also Hal Roach. So he made a series of short films, I think back in the 20s, called Our Gang, which further inspired The Little Rascals, and then that Little Rascals movie that came out in the 1980s. So he's famous for that. But the cemetery is closed on the weekends, and I'm so pissed because I'm only here Saturday and Sunday, and
I should have came yesterday. So I'm just gonna go visit Watkins Glen State Park to go take a look at the Glen Gorge, because from what I've heard, it's got a pretty amazing view to it.
All right, so the two closest lakes, funny enough, in the Finger Lakes region, are Seneca Lake and Cayuga Lake. The largest town for Seneca Lake is Watkins Glen, and I'm gonna go take a look at the gorge in the falls there. And then there's Cayuga Lake, which has Ithaca, and I'm gonna go take a look at that too. Originally, I wanted to stay closer to Watkins Glen, but all the Airbnb locations there were a little bit out of my price range, so I just decided to go to Elmira and then take the drive up to those two lakes because it was easier and cheap. So we're good. All right, on to the Glen. On my way to the gorge, I came across a Salvation Army store, so I'm gonna go see what I can find in here. So it wasn't as exciting as I was anticipating it to be, but I still found some pretty cool items. The first thing I found was this Doors record with People Are Strange and then Unhappy Girl on the other side of the record. And then I also found this, I'm guessing it was like a promotional thing with Pop-Tarts back in 1992. Maybe they stuffed these inside Pop-Tart boxes for people who were like, hey, you won this. It's yours. And now it ended up inside a Salvation Army store. So that's pretty cool. It's for, okay, it's two separate artists. So the first one is CNC Music Factory with a song called Here We Go, Let's Rock and Roll. And then the other one is Cleves and Cole, A Deeper Love. Well, it went in someone's Pop-Tart box, and now it's in my hands. On to what I was actually going to do. All right, I made it to Watkins Glen State Park. And one of the trails is closed, so I'm going to take an alternate path to get to the gorge. This here is a miniature view of Watkins Glen. I remember seeing something similar to this when I went to go see the Devil's Tower in Wyoming. It had a miniature version of the tower, just like this. You know, I could have chosen to come here in the summer when it's nice and hot out and I'm not freezing to... Oh, crap. Which trail am I supposed to... Oh, this way. You know, I could have taken this trip in the summer when it's nice and hot out and I don't have to worry about freezing my butt off. But you know, the true explorers go any time of year because who cares about weather? It's always going to be there. Oh my goodness, there's icicles. Yeah, that's not concerning in the slightest. If any of these were to melt, then I could possibly be in danger of getting an icicle dropped on my head and being knocked out cold. Oh well. This is cool though. ¿Quieres? So the specific trail that I went on, I kind of underestimated how far the staircase would go. Staircase is like right towards the little lookout pier down here. Ooh, it's orange. So the stairs start out at the lookout pier, and I'm here on the stairs right now, and I still gotta go up this. This rivals that New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts hike that I took in March last year. Oh my God. And you know what they say, sometimes you gotta suffer for your art. My art is making these travel videos for this channel. Small sacrifice to pay for salvation. In the wise words of our Lord and Savior, Thanos. Okay, so I made it up on the first leg of my hike around the gorge. So I hear the waterfall going, but I can't see anything. And even if I try to bring it further to the edge, like the water is all coming from this side, and I can't see anything, maybe except the river current underneath. I'd have to go onto the opposite side of this trail in order to get a better view. I got nothing else to do today. I started sweating profusely with all that stuff I had on. So I come up on this suspension bridge. It goes over the side of the gorge that I was expecting to. And I actually got to see a lot of the river current going through. So apparently, when I was at that lookout a couple of minutes ago, I didn't see that there was a dip in the gorge. It's in the video, it's right here. But in that dip, then it turns into kind of a waterfall. I'm gonna see if I could get a better view. I come up on ice on this trail all along here, so I might as well just have to stay to the side in order to get through this section of the hike. This might be a stupid idea, but I'm gonna film myself trying to get across this ice path. All right. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts. What? It's called Watkins Glen. Glen Miller, don't you? Whatever. Alright, this is gonna be a mildly complicated. Well, okay, there we go. Take that, ice. Well, good news. I made it past all that ice. Now I'm taking the Finger Lakes Trail to go back down to the main entrance. Although that actually brings me to a gas station, but like a quarter mile of a walk to the other side is the parking lot for this park. In the distance over here, that was the waterfall that I was referring to earlier that I couldn't see from, where's the lookout? That lookout up here. I was not able to see that. It looks pretty cool though. I hear another one coming from this direction. But of course, that trail's closed for the season, so there's no way for me to get over there. I'd say that was well worth it. I don't think I've ever really seen anything like that. I like it. I figured while I'm here, I might as well get a nice look at the rock formations over here and the icicles that are hanging upon them. Further down, like I showed at the beginning of my hike, that's all the normal gorge lookout stuff. But there's not any maintenance going on, so that's inaccessible. My legs are starting to give out on me, and I am not going down without a fight. I mean, I hope I don't get ripped sweatpants, but yeah, I'm hanging on figuratively and literally. All right, I see a gas station and a Burger King, so I'm almost back. All right, I'm on the last leg of this hike. All I need to do is just get down the stairs and back to the parking lot. Sun's starting to set a little now. Looks really nice over the hills. All right, I'm back at the entrance now. So before the day is up, ooh, hold that thought. Take a look at this. The lake is mostly frozen over, and then you could just see a tiny little stream coming from the gorge. And then there's a road. Before the day is up, I want to just take a look at Seneca and Cayuga Lake. Even though it'll probably be dark by the time I get to both of them. I was so dead set on trying to get to those today that I'm going to do anything I can just to get a look out. Even if it is dark, maybe just like a little peek. Who knows? I'm actually kind of hungry. Okay, I'm back in the parking lot. Luckily enough, there's a Subway right across the street from this parking lot, so I'm gonna go there to get some food. So, change of plans. I'm just gonna go take a look at Seneca Lake tonight. Go back to the Airbnb. And then sleep and go to Cayuga Lake tomorrow. I think that'll work out much better because I'm exhausted from all the driving and the walking. I need to let my body rest. All right, so on to Seneca Lake we go. All right. I'm in the parking lot of Glen Motor Inn. This is the only place I could find that had a decent view, and there was someone tailgating behind me when I was trying to look for a place, so that was annoying. But the lake is right over here. It is honestly just as beautiful as I thought it would be. I'm gonna put some pictures up so you can get a better look with the night mode that the iPhone has, because trying to get it in video doesn't really do it much justice. It just looks grainy and weird. That was amazing to look at. Even though it's very near dark and I can't see beyond the motel building. That is one hell of a view. My hands are so cold. I'm exhausted if you can't tell. All right. Now it's time to go back to the Airbnb.
I'm too lazy to turn on a light right now, but today went pretty well, and I hope that tomorrow goes just as well. Although I heard that there was going to be some ice on the roads, so I might not go out first thing in the morning. Maybe just wait a little bit until the roads get a little bit more decent, and then go up to Cayuga Lake before heading back home. All right, this is a first. I'm getting very delirious because I'm not getting any sleep and I'm really thirsty and a little bit hungry. This has hardly happened whenever I've taken a trip. But I'm just so desperate for something right now to eat.
One thing I never thought I'd do is order pizza in the middle of the night just to satisfy my midnight snack cravings. Well, I did that now. Everything else was closed, and Domino's was the only thing open at this hour. And then I also got a 2-liter bottle of Sprite. Obviously, I'm not going to drink all of this now, but I'm probably going to regret this in the morning, but this is so worth it. Personal pizza is my favorite. The perfect size where you don't have to feel guilty about eating the entire thing in one sitting.
Ignore how much my hair is a mess. I should have really packed a brush or something. Whatever. So, now it's the next morning here in Elmira, and I'm actually just about to leave for going back home, but I'm heading up to Cayuga Lake first before I do anything about coming back home.
know, all these giant open country roads here in this portion of New York State, it kind of reminds me of Vermont quite a bit. Because it's just like, you got nothing for miles, and then you'll just come up on a gas station or McDonald's.
I've definitely made it into country territory. Look at it. Farms, hills, flat land. This is weird. I'm not used to seeing this in New York. Well, because I'm more used to the Hudson Valley region.
All right, now I'm at Stewart Park here in Ithaca, New York. And there's actually a little trail that leads out to the water. Cayuga Lake Blue Away Trail, water access. Luckily, there's not really any ice on the ground, so I'm not in danger of slipping. Oh, I was wrong. There's a lot of ice down there. It's pretty cool, though. It's got a nice view of the lake. This is the northbound direction of Cayuga Lake. And it's approximately the same size as Seneca Lake. I gotta say, this one looks slightly bigger, but that could also be influenced by the angle that I'm looking at it from right now. This is honestly the kind of landscape that I expected from this region. One thing that I'm happy about is it's not as cold as yesterday, but it's still a little bit chilly. So my fingers aren't freezing right now. I can just be outside like this, which is good. Although it's not ideal, I'm really glad that I visited both lakes this weekend. So I'm actually on the last leg of my road trip now. So I stopped at a Speedway gas station which funny enough had a McDonald's inside of it, and I took full advantage. And I'm gonna go get some gas, eat this, and then head on home. This was a fun trip. I'm so much more exhausted than I anticipated. Maybe it's because of all that walking I did yesterday. That really took a lot out of me. This was pretty cool, and if I was able to spend a couple of more days here, I think I would make the most of it and like just do a whole bunch of stuff that I normally wouldn't get to do from where I am in New Jersey. Well, I've been to Vermont and Canada, and those are the furthest places I've been by car in North America from home. So, yeah, I hope the rest of this year like brings cool little trips that I'm gonna do, and bigger trips. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with that yet, but yeah, I'm excited for it. But anyways, thanks for watching.